ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again for another episode of Old Glory Garage. Today we are rust proofing my wife's vehicle that we brought back from down south, down south-ish, so kind of out of the rust, kind of not out of the rust. This is Virginia, northeastern Tennessee area for its whole life anyway. Welcome back to Old Glory Garage. Today we are tackling a super important topic that I like to try to remind everyone to do every year, and it is your annual rust prevention, especially here in Michigan or the Salt Belt, where the winter and roads take a toll on your vehicle. Starting off, here's my 2004 Silverado that I brought back from Kansas City, Missouri. I thought this thing was super clean. It had a little bit of rust right here on the rocker, so I started stripping it down, just trying to clean things up on it. And come to find out, those super clean rockers look great on the outside. On the inside were full of rust. This is a Southern truck. I'd never seen anything more than just a little bit of moisture on the road. Looks like it wasn't really washed by the last owner. So I ended up proactively replacing rocker panels on it before it started getting holes in them. Did it the right way. No slip overs. And then here is my wife's Jeep that we brought back from Florida. This is before it was sprayed. Super good shape. And then here's after I had clear sprayed on it. Just really soaked in everything, made everything actually look quite a bit nicer. I mean, you can also get black sprayed on it, which is the same thing with carbon added into it. This one is my Yukon again. It's an 05 Yukon, brought back from down south. This one was really, really clean. So yeah, just had clear put on. It turned out well, and it still looks this clean today. All right, just giving a quick shout out, not a paid sponsorship, to my favorite undercoater, which is Motor City Rust Proofing over in Clarkston, Michigan. I've been going to him for 3 to 4 years now for all my vehicles. I always bring back a vehicle. It looks like once a year at this point from down south. I get it coated before winter, and everything stays looking extra fresh and clean underneath. No rust, no issues, and I always get clear sprayed underneath, not black, because as a mechanic that works on his own vehicles, I don't want my arms covered in black carbon oil. Clear looks great, does good, still protects well. But here is Motor City Rust Proofing's information. Go follow his page. He's also on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, I think all the stuff. Or give him a shout out. Call, email, or contact them for an appointment if you're interested. If not, we'll get into it. We just brought back my wife's new to us 2014 Suburban back to Michigan. And one of the first things I always like to do, at least before wintertime, is to get it properly protected. And by properly protected, I mean having an oil-based undercoating applied inside all the panels, doors, rockers. Now, some of you might be wondering, why oil-based undercoating? What about those rubberized coatings, lanolin base? There's so many products on the market, and that's exactly what we're going to deep dive into today as we watch a professional applicator treat our Suburban. And I wanted to explain why I believe oil-based undercoating is superior for long-term protection, especially against brutal salt brines that we use here in the Salt Belt. Right, now let's begin. Let's start with the basics. What is an oil-based undercoating? It's essentially a petroleum-based product, often with rust inhibitors, designed to create a non-drying, self-healing barrier on the metal surface of your vehicle's undercarriage. If you've ever crawled under any old vehicles, you've always noticed any of the ones that have a really bad transmission leak that have flung grease and stuff up under the undercarriage. That's the only section that still has original paint, no rust, everything's still clean and protected, and then around the outside where it's all been washed off, or just that leaking grease never made it to, it's usually always rusty and paint's coming loose. So the first key advantage is ability to penetrate. Unlike a thick paint, rubberized undercoating, or Woolwax, even if heated, it will just sit on the surface. The oil base actively creeps into every weld seam, every crevice, every overlapping piece of metal, because this is critical. Because
I'm leaking or rusting under here. Well, she was already dirty. That's fine. Is there some of it before?
because rust loves to start in those hidden tight spaces where moisture and salt can get trapped. The oil displaces any existing moisture and prevents any new moisture from settling, but also prevents oxygen from turning your bare metal into iron oxide. Our enemy, rust. This creeping action is due to its low viscosity capillary action, and it literally pulls itself into those microscopic gaps, ensuring complete coverage. Here's where oil base really shines. Internal frame protection. Many vehicles, especially older ones, rot from the inside out. Issues in the 90s with Toyota, and now that GM and others are starting to use boxed-in frames, they have the same problem here. Always seeing, especially in Michigan, trucks, vehicles driving around and the frame is bowed like this, so the cab's looking up and the bed's looking up. For some reason, since we don't do road inspections, those are still driving around, no problem, but the frame is broken in half. So salt and moisture get into those box sections of the frame, cross-member, rocker panels, through drainage holes or even manufacturing gaps. Once inside, moisture gets trapped, stagnates, creating a perfect environment for rust to fester unchecked. With oil-based coating and with a specialized 360 wand, the applicator can blast the oil inside the frame. It coats the entire interior surface, preventing rust where it's most destructive and hardest to see. A rubberized coating simply can't do this effectively. They just create a hard shell on the inside, and if the shell cracks, which it inevitably does, it traps moisture against the metal, it creeps in, and it'll eat away underneath the coating, actually accelerating rust. This is no go in my book. After having many cheap junk vehicles over the years and enjoying how cheap vehicles used to be around 2008, especially classics. You could get running driving classics for $500, $1,000, up to $3,000, but still just trying to protect those vehicles, keep them on the road. Always try to get things taken care of and rust stopped quickly. I got tired of fixing a lot of the rust too on vehicles, so I started buying vehicles down south, bringing them back up and getting them coated. Like the Suburban, even though it was supposed to be a southern vehicle, it's kind of the Virginia area, it's a slight rust belty, but still cleaner than most of Michigan anyway. Now let's talk about the self-healing aspect. Because oil-based undercoatings remain pliable and never fully dry, they can literally heal minor scrapes and chips, and they'll soak into any of the rust and cracks. If rock hits your frame or you scrape over a curb, the oil slowly migrates back into that exposed spot. Rubberized undercoating, once chipped and cracked, exposes the metal and creates a new entry point for salt and water. Another massive benefit, often overlooked, is how it treats hardware, suspension bolts, brake lines, electrical connectors. All of those are bathed in the protective oil, which means they are far less likely to rust solid, making future repairs and maintenance significantly easier and less prone to broken bolts. It's essentially an anti-corrosion, rust-inhibiting penetrant for your entire undercarriage. So let's address lanolin versus petroleum debate. I know people will fight about it. Everyone has an opinion. But in my opinion, so why do I prefer oil-based over lanolin? Products like fluid film or Woolwax, both are excellent at displacing water and creating a protective barrier. They both creep and self-heal. But here's my take, especially for extreme conditions in the Rust Belt. Lanolin-based products, which come from sheet wool, are fantastic. They're non-toxic, eco-friendly, very effective. However, in my experience, petroleum-based formulas have a slightly longer dwell time, surface resistance to wash off, and superior resistance to wash off from constant road spray and car washes. Lanolin can be a bit more prone to wearing thin faster or chipping, and then also allowing rust to start on that spot and go underneath. The most aggressive brines and heavy road salt we experience here demand something that adheres just a little bit more stubbornly. While lanolin is excellent, a high quality petroleum-based undercoating often provides the extra margin of protection, meaning slightly longer intervals between applications. Or for the most aggressive brines and heavy road spray we experience here demand something that adheres a little bit more stubbornly. While lanolin is excellent, a high quality petroleum based undercoating often provides extra margin of protection, slightly longer intervals between applications for the same level of integrity. Both are light years better than nothing or a failed rubberized coating or factory GM wax, but for the most severe conditions I lean towards using oil because depending on which oil type you use, you want a creep effect, but also a cling effect. So there you have it. Investing in an annual or biannual oil undercoating, in my opinion, is one of the best preventative maintenance steps you can take for your vehicle, especially if you plan to keep it for the long haul. In a rust-prone area, it protects your structural integrity, saves you money on future repairs, and ultimately extends the life of your vehicle. I hope this explanation helps demystify why I choose this path, at least for a Suburban. I've also had my old race truck done, my 04 Silverado, and my Yukon, 05 Yukon. If you found this video helpful, please hit that button and subscribe for more automotive content, and let me know if you have any comments or your thoughts on undercoating. I know everyone has an opinion on it. I just prefer oil. It's a little bit more cling than fluid film. If you use any different methods, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
I mean, back here it looks like it could be black because I painted back here.
Once I get down on my head, chest height, and go around it again, chest height.
Okay. Yeah, I started cleaning this thing up and then it got too cold and I have to have my garage door open when I'm working on stuff. So I couldn't finish cleaning and painting the rest of the frame. I did the front and the back, but not the middle.
Okay. The weather just, it changed quickly, but it was leading us on there for a little bit too.
Yeah.
Because it was so nice out, and then all of a sudden it just flipped the switch and it was cold and snow.
I was ready for the third summer to come back again.
Yeah.
The last couple years have been great, but
It seems like every year until, since I was a kid, we would have thaws and all that, the first snow, but this year is the first time, as long as I can remember, that we didn't have that.
yeah.
And it just put everywhere behind. It's like I got called my pants down, basically. I got all this stuff in here, I need to get out of here. It's been a big pain.
Yup.
I don't like to come down here on the weekends either.
All right. Yeah, not the whole jump there.